Good morning. Everyone's so excited. We have a lot of people in the hall. Someone beckon them in. Okay, I do have 2 minutes. Lori's clock says 10. Two minutes. Oh, we got another 2-minute warning. So you take a break, talk, do whatever. Good morning. Again. My name is Sonia Gherkin, and our service leader today is all of us. Wait and see. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. This service is being live streamed and recorded. For those of you joining us on YouTube, we encourage you to have a candle ready to light when we light our chalice in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for the month of June is Flourishing Together. We invite you to contemplate this theme with us today and carry it into your daily life when you leave. Let us welcome the youngest members here today. May we recognize their noises and rustlings as our next generation participates in worship with us. We commit to be co-stewards of this unceded ancestral land of the Wabanaki Confederation and to work toward a world that is just and thriving for the whole web of life. We do invite you to take home your order of service for information and announcements, or you can just recycle it on your way out. We do want to mention there is an open mic tonight at 6:30, so please come and support our musicians. And we are changing our summer service time to 9 a.m. So mark your calendars. That's a half hour later, gives you a little more time to get ready or sleep in. Let's see. Please silence your cell phones. In case of an emergency, we have doors at the back, and we have, of course, the door you entered. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service, so please join us for conversation and refreshments. So as I told you, I'm Sonia, and I, along with Rev. Dr. Lori Whittemore, Rev. Nikki Norman, Ellie Rolnick, and Kelsey Holt, make up your worship team. Our team has accomplished so much this past year as we continue to innovate and experiment. My favorite part about this, being part of this ministry, is the people on the team. We work well together by sharing our strengths and talents to ensure that all the elements are in place for your worship experience. We line up the ushers and the worship assistants. Ellie coordinates the music as part of this ministry. We have created and adjusted the order of service regularly in small ways based on changes and your feedback. I serve on this ministry because I feel that Sunday worship is not only a time for a deeply felt message from the pulpit, but also a theatrical performance with occasionally missed cues, goof-ups, and sometimes magical moments. I have to say, I do love the welcoming casualness of our services and how we can share our vulnerabilities and embrace our uniqueness. It makes our time together feel warm, connected, and welcoming. We joyfully work to bring the Spirit alive for you every Sunday.
Good morning. A lot's happening this weekend. I think I didn't know when I planned this to be Ministry Sunday, although it's beautifully timed, that the yard sale was going to be this weekend. And we have so many joys to share about the yard sale. And usually the coordinator of the yard sale would come up and talk to you a bit, but the coordinators this year, especially my husband, is a little shy for public speaking, so I'm kind of saying his piece. And that is, thank you. Thank you, thank you. First of all, thank you to Patrick, because we weren't sure we were going to have a yard sale, and Patrick said yes about 4 weeks ago. God bless him. Things have been complicated. He couldn't take on the bunch of it, although there was a team, and about 2 weeks ago, I guess, we had to shift gears, and Pete and James stepped right up, and in 2 weeks, they pulled off what happened yesterday, and it was amazing. And it was amazing because such a team of people came together joyfully and raised their hands when we figured out one more thing that we had to get done. And yesterday was so nice. It was such a community effort. It was absolutely joyful. So thank you. Now, for what comes next. And you probably know this is coming. Oh, yes. So thanks to everyone. Thanks especially to Andy Kennedy, who is Jean's nephew, who was a huge help. He's not here, so we want to thank him. He bought things, he hauled things away. He took so much away in his pickup that we're not going to ask you to take trash bags today. So thank you to Andy. Thank you to Patrick, who played music. And we got so many compliments, and it was wonderful. So thank you, thank you. Unplanned, unsolicited. So here's what's coming. We had an altar call for members next week. I got an altar call for you guys. Not a lot was left over. That was left over in a yard sale that had more than it's ever had. But there are treasures left over. Treasures like this candle that would otherwise be taken probably to the dump. And it is your job as spiritual people to help us steward these things. Either till the next sale, it's a turtle, or maybe you can help us take it to Goodwill. That's our big ask. So, just so you know, we invite you at the end of service to walk by what's left, and the narthex actually has some really good stuff. Please give us $1 for anything, or just take it. Just take it so my husband doesn't have to go back to the dump. That's my ask of you. That is a spiritual request. Yes, Pete's doing this. The stuff on the right side of the narthex is actually to donate, is it? That's the donate stuff. Please, just take it. So that's my last appeal for you before I invite Brian up to tell you about the financial success, which is, anyways, Brian, come on up. We have these two.
I know that you guys already know that my name is Brian, but my official title is Count de Monet. We had a budget of $1,500 that was our goal to raise at the yard sale. We beat that a little bit. At this point, we've raised $4,789. My hope is that as people are adopting things to take home, we can make another couple $100 and break $5,000. I want to especially congratulate Kit and Jesse, who ran a lemonade stand, and between the two of them, they raised $100 on their own. I especially appreciated there were several people that came and they're saying, would you like lemonade? It's $1. And one gentleman handed one of the girls a $5 bill and said, you're cute, you keep the tip. I think that these guys need to run a lot more things because they are cute. Thank you.
So on behalf of the social media committee that doesn't actually exist, I'm going to hit the singing bowl. And a theme for us today is to see the hearts and hands that do a lot of the work of the church. Our polity, the way we govern ourselves, means all of us do the church. Our needs as a church have changed drastically. We're meeting the world in its deepest need with our greatest passions now, and so we need to evolve. So on behalf of the social media committee, which will probably exist next year, please, I sound the singing bowl. Oh, sorry. Let's light the chalice together, and we are using the words, oh wait, no, it's the Board of Trustees. You come up and light the chalice. Did you know that, Tim? Okay, come on up. It's the Board of Trustees lighting the chalice. Is there a Board of Trustee that will come up and light the chalice? Just pointing out that we are lighting the chalice with the words from the board covenant that they read before every meeting. So pay attention to your bulletin.
Lighting the chalice, will you join us in reciting the board covenant that we adopted at the retreat last year before we began our words? This is what we trustees try and do. Speak truth in love by being honest and direct, but also kind and compassionate. Pursue right relationships by building connections that are healthy, respectful, and grounded in trust. Adhere to the 7 principles of the UUA. Recognize that each board member is fully human, with strengths and vulnerabilities, and with love, joyfully support each other and the congregation. So be it. God bless.
Thank you. one of the moments that there's actually a goof, and that is that I don't even think I put my thing in Google Docs. So now I'm just going to have to riff the whole time. Oh no, I had so many important things to say. Anyways, oh, maybe. Oh yeah, look. Good morning. Today we celebrate the many ways this congregation comes alive. The countless acts of care, service, leadership, ministry, creativity, presence that you all give, all the things that sustain our community. In Unitarian Universalism, ministry does not belong to one person. It doesn't belong to me, but to all of us, each offering our gifts in ways both visible and both quiet. May this morning remind us that a thriving congregation is created by all of us, and that every hand and every heart and every voice matters, and that you feel invited back into this church in ways that you've yet to come. Now please stand as you're able and willing and join us in singing, O Life That Maketh All Things New. Now please turn and greet your neighbors.
Can you hear me? Oh. Can you hear me now? I'm waiting for the thumbs up from. Okay, good. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So excited to be here this morning. It's been a wonderful weekend with so many things going on and beautiful weather. So, thank you. Louder. Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Just keep me posted. One of the things I've been observing during this first month in RE is that religious exploration isn't something that just happens in a classroom. It's something we've created in this congregation together. So today, can you hear me? Okay. So today, instead of asking you to guess what's inside the Wonder Box, I'm inviting you to wonder with me about what religious exploration in this congregation wants to become. What does it aspire to be? What does it look like for our congregation at any age, at every age? What do our seasons look like? What does it look like in the community or among various faiths? What does it look like all together when we decide to wonder? Does it look like children's choir? I'm a little shaky this morning. Sorry. Does it look like children's choir? Does it look like small ministry? Does it look like studying other faiths, other religions? Does it look like coming together in activity in various generations? So what I'll do today is I'm going to take the Wonder Box and I'm going to put it into the social hall. And each of you should have gotten, goodness, I'm so shaky this morning, I'm so sorry. Each of you should have gotten either a rainbow, a heart, or hands. And I invite you to go ahead and write on the back of those and put them inside the Wonder Box so that we can all wonder together. So, thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. I'm Myra Robinson, and I'm walking back over to the choir area because I'm going to be doing special music in a moment. And I have the words that Ellie Rolnick, our illustrious choir director, music person, gave me to read in her stead. She's not able to be here today. Before I read her words, I'd just like to say what an honor it is for me to do special music for you all. There's a small stipend included, but that's not why we do it as a church member. And I know sometimes we have special musicians who aren't members of the church or come, but as a church member, for me to be able to share with you my gifts and talents helps me to feel like you really know me, and that I'm giving you something that brings me joy. So thank you. All the special musicians that come here, I know, feel the same way. So I'm the board liaison for the music ministry. And as I said, Ellie Rolnick is our choir director, and she sent me this to read for her about the music ministry. Music weaves a special thread through our weekly services. Without it, worship would be like watching a movie without a soundtrack. The music ministry includes the hymns we sing, the special music and musicians who provide it, our pickup choir, and our organist, Paul Benya, who somehow makes an old Trager organ sound more than pretty good. Yes, Paul, you deserve applause. Thank you. This year, we have welcomed new singers to the choir and new musicians who have shared their talents with us. We try to include your favorite hymns, as well as hymns and songs that reflect the theme of the month or the message of the day. We have introduced new songs for congregational singing, sometimes to your delight and occasionally to your dismay. As we look toward the new church year, our hopes are to welcome more choir members, encourage more musicians to offer special music, and continue introducing new hymns and songs. In 2027, we will celebrate the 200th anniversary of this lovely building, and it is my hope that music will play a significant role in that celebration. Finally, I would love to hear new ideas for refreshing the music bulletin board in the parish hall. We hope the music has moved you, inspired you, and helped deepen your worship.
That, Myra?
What? Hang in here. Okay. For those who don't know, this is a Shruti box, and it's a bellows instrument.
Good morning. Cricket, I also shake when I'm nervous. So my name is Birdie. I am a member of the Caring Committee, as well as Marilyn, Pat, Paula, Rosemary, and Anna. And as our name suggests, we care for this community. So some things that we do is we send cards and send a little bit of support or love to people's mailboxes. We can make meals and send them to folks who need meals provided. We can sit with folks who feel lonely and feel a little less lonely. And then another thing Pat takes care of is the food pantry out front. And Pat is moving this summer. And so we are sad about that, but we are also looking for someone to take that over. So if that's something that calls to you, please let any of us know. And then if you need any support in any way, even if it's not something I mentioned, please reach out to any of us or let someone in our community know, because we would love to help you and be there for you. This is the time in our service when we invite people to share what is in their hearts, whether it is a great joy or a deep sorrow. It is not a time for announcements or political statements. If you wish, please come forward, light a candle, tell us your name if you'd like, and share your joy or sorrow with us if you choose to do so.
Yeah, just so you know, after 9 o'clock, I received 2 candle requests. One was from Lori Sivanen, whose mother is now transitioning, and she is in Massachusetts with her, I think New Hampshire with her, as she makes her final transition. And so she asks for your prayers and your love. And then I heard from Adit. And let me tell you, Adit got better news than any of us could have hoped for. Her prognosis is better. And rather than chemo, rather than surgery, she's going on to immunotherapy, and she's being given a lot more hope for a longer journey with all of us. So lighting a candle for Adit this morning. Woo.
I'm Sonia, and Matt and I lit 2 candles today, and one is for our oldest daughter, Melise. We worry about her every day because she's in an emotionally abusive relationship. And the other candle is for joy, because yesterday we got to watch our oldest grandson, Jameson, at his graduation, and that was just so lovely to see him as a grown-up young man.
My name is Randa. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I too have a familial joy. Yesterday, I spent most of the day with my oldest friend, Marcia, and celebrating her daughter's upcoming nuptials with just so much feminine love and joy and support around, and it was wonderful to connect.
Hi, I'm Mowens. I had eye surgery the other day. It was a much bigger deal than I expected. I had a I had cataract surgery maybe 20 years ago, and the lens had slipped, so I couldn't see out of my left eye. But the surgery went well. It was a bigger deal than I expected, but it went well. My eyes looks a little funny, but it's getting there. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Betsy, and of course Donna, my wife. I lit 2 candles this morning. One candle for the Johns that I'm connected with. One is my son, and the other is for a friend who is suffering from stomach cancer for over 2 years now. His wife has really realized that time is limited. The second candle is Candle of Joy. First of all, it's Pride Month, hence the colors. and we got married in Pride Month on June 4th, 23. So we celebrated 3 years of our wedding anniversary with Matt and Sonia, who were our witnesses that stood up for us. So we had a great time. out on the water. Wednesday was a gorgeous day. Thank you.
As I light one last candle for the joys and sorrows left unspoken, let us take a moment to hold what we have heard in our hearts.
Let's take a deep breath together and reflect on the joy and the sorrow that's been brought to us this morning, mostly joy. And the joy, even beyond the sorrow, is that we share this space. We hold a container. We hold each other in all of it. And when we come together in love at our center, there's nothing we can't face because we don't face it alone. For that, we give thanks. And for that, we are at peace. So be it. It's on. Up close. Up close.
I'm not a public speaker, but here I am. My name is Pat Campbell, and I'm on the membership committee, along with Edie Kroll, Donna, and Odette. And Edie did a wonderful job on our committee this year, but since she's been ill, Donna has taken over and has helped us along. I guess I'm supposed to say I became a member, I just figured it out, 44 years ago. When the first weekend I moved up here to Saco, and I came here, there were 10 people in the church, and I heard the best sermon I'd ever heard, and I couldn't believe it. But anyway, I continued, and things have gone well. I'm supposed to say what we did in the membership committee, but I'm not going to read that whole thing. Basically, we try to help people who are becoming members, and we do a couple of coffee hours and a Super Sunday, and we have a bulletin board, and there are meetings for people who are interested in becoming members. Now, we're a very small committee, and I think we might even be losing our new leader, Donna. So we need more people on that committee. It's a fun committee. When I first joined the church, I overdid it. I used to be here like 3 or 4 nights a week because I got so involved. And then I got overloaded, and I just stopped coming to church and stopped doing everything and came back a few years back. But I joined this committee because I believe that, it's really about the only way you get to know people, unless you have them over to dinner or the circle suppers. Those are wonderful. We'd like to have more of those next winter. But we need more folks on the committee so that we can expand what we do and hopefully maybe have some kind of a buddy system for people who are joining so that they feel comfortable. Okay, here's something I was supposed to read. That's about it. Hang in here. The Ministry of Welcome. A membership committee does more than keep names on a list or greet people at the door. It tends the sacred work of belonging. It asks, who is here? Who is missing? How do we help one another feel at home? In a Unitarian Universalist community, membership is not about agreement, but relationship. The membership committee helps open the circle wide with warm welcomes, conversations over coffee, invitations into community, and care for those finding their way. They remind us that hospitality is not a single moment, but an ongoing practice. A name remembered, a question answered, a seat saved, a story listened to. These small acts become the roots of connection. For in the end, a church grows not simply because people arrive, but because people feel seen, valued, and invited to belong. And belonging itself is a kind of ministry shared by all of us.
As you're willing and able, and join me in singing. No? Yeah. In the green hymnal, teal hymnal, as we sing of hope and joy. Please be seated. A Unitarian Universalist congregation is often described, in many ways, as a community of shared ministry. While ministers may guide and teach and accompany us, the life of the church is sustained by many hands and many hearts. Lay-led ministry is not simply volunteering. It's not simply showing up at a committee meeting. It is a living expression of the covenant we ask you to enter into when you join the church, to promise to care for one another and to build something meaningful together. Relationships. Every welcoming smile at the door sticks in someone's mind when they first visit. Every lesson taught to children forms who they become. Every meal delivered is like a hug. Every committee meeting is a relationship. Every song offered, every justice effort builds our capacity for mercy and compassion. Every candle lit for another person, whether it's quietly or out loud, becomes part of the sacred work of a congregation. In our UU tradition, we affirm the wisdom and the calling is not reserved for me. It's all of you. It's all of your wisdom. It's all of your calling in conversation. Lay leadership reminds us that ministry happens wherever compassion meets commitment. It happens where the world's deepest needs are met by your most crazy and wonderful passion, the world's deepest needs. It happens in the moments both public and unseen, tending gardens, balancing budgets, offering pastoral care, keeping technology running, preparing worship, showing up when someone needs you. Through these acts, we become not simple attendees of a church, but stewards of a living faith. On this Ministries Sunday, we celebrate not only what has been done, but who we are becoming in this world that needs us so much. When we share ministry, we embody the truth of the congregation, the truth of the principles that we profess. And in this shared work, we create something stronger and kinder and more hopeful than any one person could ever do alone. We create beloved community, and beloved community that is not always reflected in the world today. And we bring ourselves alive with purpose and possibility, which is what we're called to do. This is a strategically placed service, so you all know, for a couple of reasons. First, so far from last week, we've had 15 people join our church. And just so you know, I think we have something like another 15 in the hopper, maybe even more, who are in the hopper like they're on the spectrum of thinking about it. And so this week I wanted anybody who came who's new, anybody who's came and just joined, to see what it looks like to manage the church as a lay-led ministry. I want them to see your faces. I want them to hear your voices. I want them to hear how long you've been a member and how much you enjoy, or maybe not, the work that you do here. But I also wanted you all to hear, because when you join this church, when you start coming to this church, we want you to fold into us through this committee work. And the needs of the church are changing as they grow. We have new committees emerging because the needs of the world are presenting differently than they used to. The needs of the community are presenting differently. So I am inviting the folks who have just joined, I am inviting the folks who have resisted committees to think about your greatest passion and join us this summer and next year to help translate our world's greatest needs, to bring your passion alive in it. And you'll hear me say that word a lot. So, strategically, to invite you into all of these shared ministries, and strategically because next week is our sacred event of an annual meeting. And it is sacred because it highlights our life together. And you're going to get a packet, an annual report, and I want you to read it cover to cover. But if you don't, you are hearing today from the ministries of the people who have been loving this church desperately all year long. So this is your chance to maybe skip a section of the report, but you have to read some of it. The ministries and committee in this church are changing to meet the needs of the world. As I said, we recognize also, not only do we need different ministries, but we do really need to embrace different ways of doing the ministries that we already do, because there's more of us, and that takes a lot more energy. We have outgrown our capacity a little bit, and what that means is we have more people coming in with different needs than we have the resources to meet where they're at. And so things will evolve. People say we're changing for change's sake. We are changing to love everybody into our circle. That's what we're doing. And it's hard. And one of the huge cultural shifts is getting people to realize that we can try something, try it for 3 weeks, try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, or if we get feedback, we can pivot and not try it anymore. But we have to do that because there's so much going on, so much that you may never know about. And that's okay. We recognize that we have to re-divvy up the work a bit. What membership does and what caring committee does may start to blend together in different ways. We may not have people coming to committee meetings, but they might say, hey, I'll take this one task and I'll let that committee know I'm doing it because I work all the time and I don't have time to come to meet. Whatever. It's going to change, and you are invited into it in new and wonderful ways, because that's how we get to know one another. All in service to creating and recreating all the time the loving community where we are all welcome, included, respected, and loved, where democracy is important, where democracy is still important, where creation is revered in ways that we don't necessarily do, where justice and mercy abide in our flesh and bones, where love is always at the center. If you don't see yourself in some of the committees that are being presented here today, ask yourself, like Chris Cricket did, what do you imagine in that wonder box? Where is your passion? What do you know about the unmet needs of the world? And then call me for coffee, because I love to have coffee. And thank you. And so today, now, I want to invite Finance and MOFA, Ministry of Faith and Action, up, and they're going to talk about collecting the offering and maybe some other things. Finance, very important. And you can come up here.
Can everybody hear me? My name is Steve, and I've been on the Finance Committee for over 10 years. And we on the Finance Committee are your congregational bean counters. We make sure that the lights stay on, the heat stays on, and that our financial obligations are met. Traditionally, we have created a budget every year, and we use the historical record and input from various committees to come to the budget. At that point, we submit the budget to the Board of Trustees, and they either approve it or tweak it, and then at annual meeting, we finally approve everything. We also meet several times a year to discuss our income and our expenses, and in addition to that, we have a small endowment that we overlook and make sure that it's doing what it ought to be doing. So I encourage any of you who are interested in finance, and it is a dismal business, but I can say this year we broke all records in our pledges, so we're very encouraged. Thank you.
And I'm not sure I heard from anybody from MOFA, but I could say a minute if you want me to say a minute. So I wanted to add to the finance thing briefly. What nobody, I think, recognized, maybe, as we were going through the budget, was that we actually added 3 more positions to the church this year. And so as we were putting the budget together, it didn't look like anything historically that we had done in, I don't even know how long. So in trying to figure out how to reframe it, it took a lot. And we need more energy and skills and talent and energy in how we move forward with added people. And that includes personnel in the future so that we can redistribute workload so that it's not all the changing things that we do in that back office don't all fall on Brian and me. So there's committee possibilities beyond and above. And we did exceed all finance this year. We'd love to expand and have outreach, and not outreach. What was the other thing? Fundraising. Because in the bicentennial year, we're going to try to do some good fundraisers to do some good things like maybe work on the organ. So if you are not a finance person, but you love fundraising, raise your hand. We want to do that too this year. And so we planted this right by the offering, because that seemed like a great place. We put MOFA, Ministry of Faith in Action. And the reason we did that is because somewhere, sometime in the past, this church decided to share half of their offering plate every month, the whole month, with a community-based organization. And I think, I don't know the full story, but part of it was abundance. Promoting abundance. So rather than take that plate collection and boost our own our church and all those things, we said no, there are people in the community doing great work and we're going to do it with them, and we're going to do it by supporting them. And so that's why we share our plate, if you ever wondered. And the other thing is, MOFA has always been our social action team, doing a lot of cool things. And we're recently doing more things in our own community, being more of a local outreach. And if there are things in the community you really want to see done, if there are organizations that you want to share the plate with, let us know. These are all things we want to do more and more of, where your passion meets the world's greatest need. So, all of that said, let's get some money. I got to get the words out. I'd hope they'd say the words, but let me see. Where's the words? Okay. So when we gather together, now you know what we do with it. We bring the gifts of ourselves. You all join the committees. We bring ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our time, our energy, our love, and our skills to do yard sales, to support the work of the church here in the walls and out in the larger community. We bring the gift of generosity, giving what we have, so the work of this church can continue. As always, half our offering goes out in the community. This month, Pride Month, we're sharing it with the Equality Community Center. If you're watching from home, donations are made through the Give button at the top of our webpage, uuchurchsacobiddeford.org, or checks can be mailed to UUCSB 60 School Street, Saco, Maine. This morning's offering will now be received. quick change up. Anne's gonna do her thing now.
So my name is Ann Wilkinson, and I was asked to organize coffee hour last fall as I was unable to attend church regularly. It was a way for me to do something important without attending meetings and making other commitments. I didn't start out thinking of this as a ministry. My attitude was closer to get her done. But I've changed. Thank you for your generosity and support of this ministry, whether you hosted, cleaned up, or just loved your coffee. Coffee Hour creates space for strengthening bonds of friendship and allows for strangers to be welcomed into our community. Fellowship and hospitality are ingrained in church culture. It is a space for community, deeper connection, and comfort. There's power in coffee and tea. Having a comfortable space to convene informally is essential. It moves us from the holy space of this sanctuary to the boundless space of companionship. Thank you.
Now, is somebody coming up from Building and Grounds? I don't think I got a response. Oh, Jane, yes, yes, yes. Oh, good, good, good.
So, here we are. When I think of church, I come from an intellectual, spiritual, I think of the book of Matthew, for where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Our forefathers and the mothers behind them cooking dinner decided a couple hundred years ago that they wanted to build something. So they built the sanctuary, what this building is. And then later on, another group of folks built the parish hall, and finally the connecting corridor with meeting rooms and offices off it. Just like where you live, whether it's a house or an apartment or a single room, this is a home. It has to be upkept if we want to continue to have it. Now, there's no reason that we cannot continue to be a church by sitting together on the ground out in Pepperell Park. But I think our preference is to be in beautiful buildings that allow us to do more than maybe make a campfire and hope we don't get arrested out in Pepperell Park. So there are a number of us who are on the committee who come in at various times. Some of us regularly on Monday mornings, 8 to 10, come in, we'll give you a broom or a dust cloth or something just to work on the. So Ann Dobson has been our leader and committee chair for many years. Betsy Pace, Kath Garrity has joined us. Lori Campbell is a trooper. Patrick, whose last name, God help me, I'm so sorry, it's gone, it'll come back. And Peter Whittemore. So the ordinary things, get the paint on the out, get a new furnace because the old one doesn't work. Check on the blower in the back of the sanctuary because it's on its last legs. The larger things also need caring. It feels as though the routine cleaning is in hand. What is not going to be in hand, because Ann will be gone as committee chair at the end of June, is someone to coordinate the larger projects and to search out when we need somebody, because it was so exciting. I went into the bride's room one Monday morning and the entire window was lying on top of the shrubbery. So who do we call to get that window back in ASAP? Because it's the middle of winter. So we need a person to take on that responsibility, to be the person who knows what's available in the community and is willing to talk to them, get a few bids, hire them with the approval of the committee and, if necessary, the board. They don't have to get down on their knees and scrub. We'll do that. We'll do that. But someone to take on the coordinating of what's needed in the church. So that's my plea for buildings and grounds, because if not, we've got things that are simply not going to be done, and the buildings will deteriorate. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have no idea the magic they perform. And so I put them here because tomorrow morning they're going to be here making all of this beautiful again and taking care of the church. And so let's extinguish the chalice together as we release this flame from its faithful service today. We allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always. All right, executive decision right now. Let's play the hymn as the postlude and skip it because it's already 11:15 and I have been lectured. And coffee hour ministry is spoken. Matt, do you want to come up and do 2 minutes?
I did time this out, and I should be able to do it in 2 minutes. If not, I'll probably get the hook. So I'm Matt Gherkin, and whoa, my computer's going crazy. Sorry. The mission of School Street Coffee House is to enrich the Saco Biddeford community by operating as a volunteer-run performance art venue that celebrates local artistry, fosters inclusivity, and reflects the core values of the UUCSB. We provide a safe, chemical-free environment dedicated to authentic creative expression, supporting local artists and the LGBTQ+ community. The School Street Coffee House Committee co-chairs Scout, AKA Melissa Warren, and Thomas Kluge envisioned a revival of the coffee house that existed a decade or more ago. When I heard Scout talk about rekindling coffee houses here in our church and listened to her speak about her vision, I immediately knew I needed to be involved. I was especially impressed with the mission. I knew that it could be successful, and my role is to prepare the parish hall and solicit volunteers to help make the setting accommodating for each coffee house event. I love setting up, and I mostly am awestruck by the talents and skills of Scout, her partner Thomas, Erica Klein, who is not a member of church, but she's intricately involved in everything that we do with Coffee House, and she also performs. And last but not least, Ryan Rivois, I think I got it right. In this 2025-26 inaugural year, the School Street Coffee House produced 18 coffee house events with the help of 9 coffee house committee members and many other supporting members of our congregation. I don't have the time to list them all. We're always looking for volunteers to help with setting up the parish hall for each coffee house event. We also need volunteers for future and immediately tonight, actually, for coffee house to provide homemade pies, other baked goods, help with snack and beverage sales, ticket sales, merchandise sales, and to help with cleanup following the event. We have big dreams for the coffee house, but we need your help. Audience and performers tell us that we have the best coffee houses that they have ever attended or performed at. And this is not hyperbole. It says a lot about what we are doing. Please attend the annual meeting at church next Sunday, June 14th, and read the annual report to learn more about School Street Coffee House. We will be recruiting volunteers for the coffee house tonight, Pride Month, open mic tonight, and next Sunday, June 14th, after our annual meeting. That's a long day. And so be prepared. We'll be reaching out to you. Please sign up and attend. Moved on me, and by attending, you'll not regret it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right, I'm sorry, Myra, we're gonna, okay, thank you. Okay, good. We thought Thomas would be here for special music, but it's probably good he wasn't. So I'm gonna give our benediction, but I want to make it clear in your mind what we're looking for, just so you know. So under the guise of all the new things we're doing, all the new work we're doing, the people we've hired, what we're trying to accomplish, we need social media to help set our tone in the world. We have people seeking counseling through our social media. We have so many things that we need some folks to work on social media. We want to do outreach next year. We want t-shirts at events. We want to march in parades. We want to put our values out there in this world that is divisive and hateful. Love needs to be out in the community. We are that beacon, and we need to get our message out there. If you are interested in tabling things, of marching in parades, we'd love to hit at least Bark in the Park as a representation, Pride Month, Harvest Festival. Think about outreach as somewhere you might land. If you have administrative skills, I have to say that last week was hard because the Defense Department declared that the Unitarian Universalists were not a religion anymore. For those of you who are shocked by that. So the government is not recognizing us as a religion. We need to form our 501c3 so we have tax-free status in perpetuity for the time being. And so we've had that on the agenda for a few years. I can help guide you. I've formed them, but somebody needs to take the lead on it. We weren't really fussy about it. Now we need to be fussy. Just saying. We need a safety and security committee who manages the space, who thinks about the internet, all the things that it takes to keep us safe and secure. So outreach, social media, personnel to help redistribute our workload, and then help facilitate the shift. And then a bicentennial committee so we can celebrate the heck out of our 200 years, use it for fundraising, rebuild this, all kinds of things. So think about those. If there's not a standing committee, you don't even have to form one. We can use MOCA, our new format for running things, to help you bring your passion alive. So think about that. Closing us up with that. If you're at home, if you're just one of the people, there are several people who only come from home, who come from home from other parts of the country. You too can have a ministry. Reach out to me. Now is the time for us to live our values in the world like we never have before. So at any rate, the service is now concluded. Thank you so much for coming, however you did. Join us for coffee. Thank you to Moens and Donna by default for helping bring us coffee today. And we'll see you next week.